Ty Borden was gone. Or at least, that's what everyone believed. But in the past few months, strange clues have started to surface, clues that point to something no Heartland fan ever expected to see again. A return, a second chance. A moment that could change Amy Fleming's entire world. And if these signs are real, Season 20 might deliver the biggest shock in Heartland history when Ty Borden's story came to an end. It didn't just close a chapter in Heartland, it broke something inside the characters and the audience. Ty wasn't just Amy's partner. He was the heart of the ranch, the steady presence who faced life's storms with quiet strength. His loss created a silence that spread through the entire family, and every episode after that reminded viewers of how deeply he shaped the show. Amy was left standing at a crossroads she never wanted. She had a daughter to raise, a ranch to care for, and a life that now felt unfinished. Everything she once dreamed of building with Ty suddenly shifted into something she had to manage alone. Every sunrise she greeted at Heartland carried the weight of memories of the man who rode beside her, worked beside her, and loved her with the devotion that fans felt through the screen. Lyndy grew up hearing stories about her father, knowing him through photos, videos, and the way people talked about him. She inherited his gentle spirit, his bravery, and his way of understanding animals. But she also carried the ache of a child who never got the chance to know the hero everyone said he was. Amy often wondered how she could teach her daughter everything Ty would have taught her, and those small, quiet moments like watching Lyndy ride or helping her with chores reminded Amy of what she had lost. The rest of the Heartland family struggled too. Jack felt the absence of the young man he once mentored, the one he treated like a grandson. Lou tried to stay strong for her sister, but even she couldn't deny how different life became without Ty. The ranch itself felt changed, as if a part of its spirit had been taken away. And yet, despite the heartbreak, Heartland kept moving. Amy learned to smile again, but her smile never looked the same. She found comfort in her work, in the horses she healed, and in the life she built for Lyndy. But deep inside, she carried a quiet hope, a hope that wasn't about Ty returning to life, but about finding a way to live with the memories and still believe in the future. Then something unusual happened. Season 19 began dropping hints, short lines, meaningful pauses, scenes that fans couldn't ignore. And soon after, rumors began swirling that Season 20 might revisit Ty's story in a new and unexpected way. Not as a replacement for the past, but as a powerful emotional moment that could change everything for Amy and her family. Some viewers believed it was all just wishful thinking. Others felt the writers were preparing the audience for something deeper, a moment of closure, or maybe even a form of return no one had imagined. Whether through dreams, flashbacks, or a hidden truth waiting to be revealed, the idea of Ty coming back in any form sent a wave of excitement across the fandom. Ty's absence shaped Heartland, but the possibility of his presence, however it might appear, holds the power to shake the story again. And as Season 20 approaches, one question keeps growing louder. Are these hints simply memories coming full circle? Or is something far more surprising on the way? It started quietly, almost too quietly for anyone to notice at first. A single comment in an interview, a photo taken from too far away to be clear, and a few unusual statements from cast members that didn't match what they usually said about Ty's story. None of these things seemed important on their own, but when fans began putting the pieces together, a new theory started to grow. And this theory was bold. Season 20 might bring Ty Borden back into the story in a way no one expected. The first spark came when a production assistant accidentally mentioned that Season 20 would revisit old paths that still affect Amy's future. It seemed like a harmless comment, but Heartland viewers know the writers choose their words carefully. Anything connected to Amy's past almost always leads back to Ty. That one comment alone was enough for fans to start talking again. Then came the set photo. A blurry image taken from outside the filming area showed a man wearing a jacket that looked almost identical to one Ty used to wear in earlier seasons. The person's face wasn't visible, but the posture, the build, and the clothing were close enough to send shockwaves across social media. Some believed it was just a stand-in or a coincidence. Others felt the show was deliberately hinting at something big, something emotional, something that would shake Heartland to its core. Not long after, another clue appeared. Amber Marshall spoke in an interview about Season 20 focusing heavily on unfinished emotional threads. She didn't mention Ty by name, but the way she paused, the soft smile she gave, and the shift in her voice made fans wonder if she was hiding something. Heartland actors often stay quiet about future storylines, but this time, the silence seemed louder than usual. Even the writers added fuel to the fire. One of them shared a message saying Season 20 would be about healing in ways that go beyond the ordinary. Fans immediately connected this to Ty. After all, no loss in the show's history affected the characters and the audience like his. Healing beyond the ordinary suggested something more than memories, more than simple reflection. It hinted at a moment that could bring tears, hope, and shock all at once. Fan communities exploded with theories. Some suggested Ty would appear in flashbacks the show never revealed before, moments Amy had kept to herself, moments that still shaped her. Others believed Season 20 might include dream sequences, where Amy speaks to Ty during a turning point in her life. A few even went further, saying the show might introduce a twist explaining that Ty never truly died. Most people doubted that possibility, but the rumor refused to fade out as the whispers grew louder. Heartland's production team did something unusual. They didn't shut the rumors down. Normally, they would deny anything that wasn't true. This time, they stayed silent, and that silence became one of the biggest clues of all. It made fans feel like something important was being protected, like the writers wanted the audience to prepare emotionally for what was coming. Soon, every small detail became a clue. Episode titles leaked early, and one of them used a phrase connected to Ty's storyline from years ago. A background photo on Heartland's official account showed a horse Ty once worked with. Even the music featured in early promos had a tone that reminded fans of Ty and Amy's love story. The fandom didn't just react, they united. People began rewatching old seasons, sharing theories, breaking down scenes frame by frame. The idea of Ty returning, even in a symbolic or emotional form, became a beacon of hope. It wasn't just about bringing a character back. It was about giving Amy, Lyndy, and the Heartland family a moment that could touch the hearts of viewers who still miss Ty deeply. And with every passing day, the whispers grow stronger. Something is happening behind the scenes. Something connected to Ty. Something the show isn't ready to reveal, at least not yet. As rumors circled and clues piled up, the biggest question fans began to ask was simple yet powerful. If Ty returns in Season 20, how could the writers make it believable? Heartland has always stayed grounded in emotional truth, never relying on unrealistic twists just to shock viewers. So if the show is preparing to bring Ty back in any form, it has to be handled with meaning, purpose, and respect for the story that shaped Amy and her family. And that is exactly why these theories have taken on a life of their own, because each one feels possible in a different way. The first and most widely accepted theory is the lost moment idea. This suggests that Season 20 will reveal scenes from Ty's past that the audience never saw, conversations, decisions, or memories that Amy kept buried because they were too painful. This kind of return wouldn't bring Ty back to life, but it would bring him back into the story. It would allow viewers to feel his presence again, not through fantasy, but through emotional truth. Amy reflecting on those unseen moments could reshape her future, giving her strength to face a new chapter. Another theory is more spiritual, something Heartland has explored before but never fully leaned into. Fans believe that Amy might experience dreams or visions of Ty during a moment of deep struggle or transformation. These wouldn't be supernatural scenes, they would be emotional ones. Amy's mind reaching out to the love she lost, searching for guidance when she needs it most. Ty appearing in her dreams wouldn't change the past, but it could change Amy. It could be the spark that helps her heal wounds she still hides behind her smile. And for viewers, seeing Ty again in this form would be a powerful reminder of their bond, something that never truly disappears. Then there's the boldest theory, the one that fans whisper about with hope but also caution, the hidden truth scenario. This idea suggests that Ty didn't die the way the story told us. Instead, something unexpected happened: an emergency decision, a protective measure, or a twist in events that kept him away for reasons beyond his control. This theory is dramatic, yes, but not impossible in the world of storytelling. Heartland rarely uses shock twists, but if handled carefully, this idea could become the most emotional moment the series has ever delivered. Amy discovering that Ty survived would shake the foundation of everything she has built. Her grief, her growth, her journey, all of it would collide with the possibility of a life she thought she had lost forever. Of course, not everyone believes Ty will return physically. Some fans think the writers are planning a symbolic return instead, one that changes the story without rewriting the past. This could mean Amy finding something Ty left behind, something that reveals a message or a plan he never got to share. It could be a journal, a video, or a letter that opens a window into his mind, reminding Amy of who he was and what he believed in. This kind of moment would not bring Ty back to her side, but it would bring him back into her heart in a new way, guiding her toward a future she can face with hope. And then there is the theory that ties all others together, the idea that Ty returns not for drama, but for healing. Heartland's writers often choose emotional truth over shocking twists, so Ty's return may not be about changing the story, it may be about completing it. Amy's grief journey has been long and painful, but it has also shown her strength. Season 20 might give her the moment she needs to finally let go, not by forgetting Ty, but by understanding that love doesn't end, even when life does not. Every theory, no matter how different, shares one thing: the belief that Ty's presence still matters. His absence created a space in the story that nothing else could fill. So whether he returns in memory, spirit, flashback, or a carefully crafted twist, his impact will be felt across every character and every moment in Season 20. And as each new clue appears, one thing becomes clearer: Ty Borden's story in Heartland may not be as finished as we once believed. Amy Fleming has always been strong, but Season 20 places her in a place she has never been before. For years, she carried the weight of grief quietly, hiding her pain behind the work she loved. Horses became her refuge, Lyndy became her anchor, and the memory of Ty became the silent force that kept her moving forward. But as new clues and unexpected signs begin to appear, Amy finds herself at the edge of an emotional path she never planned to walk, a path that leads straight back to the love she lost. Season 20 shows Amy in a delicate balance between past and present. She has built a life for herself and Lyndy, a life shaped by strength and responsibility. But even as she moves through her days with purpose, there is a part of her heart that still whispers Ty's name. She never ran from the pain of losing him, but she learned how to carry it with grace. Now, for the first time in years, something begins to shift inside her. Memories that once felt too heavy to face begin to surface with surprising clarity. Moments she tucked away start returning with new meaning, as if trying to tell her something she missed before. Amy begins noticing signs, small, quiet reminders of Ty that appear when she least expects them. A horse behaving in a way that mirrors Ty's gentleness. A piece of advice she suddenly remembers him saying. A dream that feels more like a message than a memory. These moments leave her shaken, not because they hurt, but because they awaken a part of her heart she thought was settled. She wonders if these signs are her mind reaching for comfort, or if they are pieces of unfinished emotional truth rising to the surface. Her journey becomes even more complex when Lyndy starts asking deeper questions about her father. Lyndy's growing curiosity forces Amy to look at Ty not just as the man she loved, but as the father her daughter deserves to know. Sharing stories with Lyndy opens wounds Amy thought had healed, yet it also sparks warmth she hasn't felt in years. Each story brings Ty closer, not as someone frozen in the past, but as a guiding presence shaping their future. Through this emotional storm, Amy starts confronting parts of herself she avoided. She realizes she has been living in a quiet divide, half in the present, half in memories. And Season 20 pushes her to bridge that gap. She begins to understand that healing is not about letting go of the past. It is about understanding it, accepting it, and allowing it to become a source of strength rather than sorrow. But the biggest shift in Amy's journey happens when she discovers something connected directly to Ty's something personal. Something unexpected, something that forces her to stop running from the truth she buried deep inside. Whether it comes in the form of a forgotten message, a hidden moment, or a new revelation, it changes the way she sees her life. It makes her realize that Ty's story and her own are woven together more tightly than she ever understood. This discovery becomes the turning point. Amy begins to face her grief with new eyes. Instead of holding onto the pain, she starts to welcome the memories. Instead of fearing change, she begins to feel hope forming inside her. She understands that she doesn't have to choose between honoring the past and embracing the future. She can do both. And for the first time since Ty's passing, Amy allows herself to imagine a future shaped not by loss, but by growth. Season 20 becomes the emotional journey Amy didn't expect but desperately needed. A journey that helps her rebuild her heart. A journey that opens the door to healing she never knew she needed. And whether Ty returns physically, spiritually, or through powerful memories, one truth becomes clear. Amy's story is about to reach a place where love, grief, and hope finally meet.